Hey everybody, welcome. We're going to get started in a couple minutes here, and we're going to do some analysis on gold and see how this Tokyo market moves, and just go over the day-to-day news. And won't be a long session, guys. We're going to wrap it up just around 8:15 and see how the markets are moving. It's been pretty rough lately, the last couple weeks here in this Tokyo session. We've tried different times to try and figure out where this good volume is to trade. And it's hit or miss. Could be now, could be after 9 p.m. Sometimes it's a little later. But again, just let's practice proper risk management and see how things move.
Recording in progress.
Hey everybody, welcome to Stocks Numbers Trading. Thanks everyone for joining. My name is Ron, my partner is Dave. It's almost 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and it is Tuesday, May 5th. And let's see how the markets are moving today, guys. Again, we're going to do some analysis on gold and see how it's moving. Some of these Tokyo sessions have been choppy as of late, haven't been the greatest. Like if you guys remember a couple months back, Tokyo this time was the greatest moves we were seeing, and now it's been very, very, very difficult to kind of get a read of how the markets are moving. But you got to be patient. Maybe if you wait 1, 2, 3 more hours after this, maybe things will start to open up. But regardless, we're here for about till about 8:15, 8:30 tonight. We'll see how things are moving. We'll do a little bit of analysis on gold, and we'll go over the news and see how things are moving. Just a reminder, guys, this Friday is NFP, so we'll see how things are moving into NFP, and just please trade careful on Friday morning during that NFP, that non-farm payroll at 8:30, okay? And hope everyone's well, and let's get started, okay? First thing is news. UAE, United Arab Emirates over here, air defense systems responding to a missile threat. So the air defense systems are currently responding to a missile threat. Please remain in safe locations. So this is ongoing. This is breaking news. This was just released 7 hours ago. So this could develop on our session here. It could develop overnight and go into tomorrow. So please, we are trading gold. If you are trading any type of commodity like crude oil or gold, silver at this time, this could really impact if this intensifies. And so please be careful. You never know what could happen at any moment, at any minute, and you could be on the wrong end of the trade. That's normal. That's trading. But however, you can manage your risk. Okay, there's some traders that don't care about risk management. That's on them. But there's other traders that really do care about their risk management and don't want to blow up their account on a candle. Okay, so don't be that person. Please trade smart. Okay, so we do have some news tonight. Later, there will be some news over here. We got some New Zealand news coming out right now, 6:45 in the next little bit. If you're trading anything to do with the NZD currency, you got your high impact news. Okay. Again, all day Bank Japan holiday. So we are trading the Tokyo session, bank holiday in Japan. If you are trading the yen currency, just understand that the banks are closed. Okay. Tomorrow, when you guys are trading, a little bit of European news coming out later tonight. Crude oil weekly inventories will be released tomorrow morning. Some FOMC speakers. So pretty quiet day tomorrow on a Wednesday. Okay. As it gears up for the NFP. Earnings, guys. Earnings have been unbelievable. Okay. With tech. Today in the after hours, we had AMD. We took a look at the chart yesterday. This thing has been on a historic run as of late. AMD, pretty much all of the chips, all of the semiconductor space. This is what's carrying the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 to these all-time highs. And if you think about shorting these things, you probably are holding in drawdown and probably getting squeezed. So it's not a good idea to be shorting the market right now or trying to short these tech companies because these things are on fire right now. Look at the earnings with AMD this evening. They beat the earnings per share, the EPS. They beat the revenue. Big growth, big surprise, great guidance. There's talks of these companies, partnering with like Apple and things like that. So things are getting bonkers right now, and these things are just going sky high right now. We had SMCI right over here, SMCI Supermicro. They had great EPS, a little disappointing on the revenue. However, their guidance was positive and they are up in the after hours. Intel is up big. So these companies are still holding. So we're going to see if it continues to go into Wall Street tomorrow morning. And guys, I'm trading right now this IONQ. This is a quantum computing company. My strategy is buying dips in Wall Street market open. So if you look over here, this beige part of my chart is the pre-market, and then you can see right over here when it goes into this gray area, this is 9:30. This is on the 5-minute candle. So if we look back, like we're kind of back testing this week. So Monday is when I started. There was 9:20, 9:25. Now we move into 9:30. That first dip right there, when it dipped down, I bought right there and I took it up. I got my 5% and I dipped out of the market, right? And then you can see as well today, as we were cruising in this pre-market, and then over here, right here, here's Wall Street. Here was the Wall Street dip, right? There it is, pushing down 9:30, 9:35, 9:40, 9:45, came down to a low right there, just below $45. And then I bought that dip again and came right back up. They have earnings tomorrow around 4:15. So you can see there was anticipation going into this quantum computing earnings. And right up there again, another 5% you can make. And I dipped out of the market. I don't want to be holding going into earnings because you never know what can happen in earnings. So that trade I posted right over here. So you can see, guys, if you click on it, you can scroll. At that point, I was up 4%. If you click on this, you can see that there's some where I got filled and then the fill on the exit. And then this was the day before. Again, another 4.3%. Again, same thing. So you can see that there is the tickets, the receipts right there with the fills on the buy and on the exit. So that's the security I'm trading right now, right? And I'm making my money daily on it. I don't need to jump around from security to security. I'm just doing it with one, watching it. What I like to do with that is as well is I watch NASDAQ, how it's moving in the pre-market. I watch NASDAQ and NASDAQ has been pumping. So that's why I like to buy dips And with the NASDAQ continuing to pump, I know a lot of money is going into those tech companies. So maybe those quantum computing securities will follow suit, right? And I like to, on red days, I like them to drop 5-10%. And again, I like to buy on discount. I scale in slowly a certain amount of shares. If I need to dollar cost average down, I'm not scared to do that. I hold these things if I have to overnight because I know that they can recover. But all right, I scale in slowly. If I hit my daily goal intraday, I'm out, guys. So I'm going to be doing a little bit more stock and options education with you guys next week come New York sessions, a little bit of Forex and a little bit of stock and options. And then on these Tokyo calls, if gold is really slow and it's not doing much, then I'm going to start just going into some stock and options education, okay? I kind of want to do that for myself as well. Kind of getting bored with gold and Forex every single day. I'm pretty sure you guys know how to trade it, but there's so much more in the stock and options markets every single day. There's so much going on. Dave and I are going to send out pre-market gainers, intraday, and post gainers. Some of these things we're catching in the pre-markets are up 20%, and sometimes intraday they go up 100, 200, 300%. So it's a lot of fun in the stock and options markets. Guys, what else are we doing? So earnings, SMCI, MicroStrategy kind of shit the bed over here. These guys just accumulate Bitcoin, and you can see very disappointing. Their earnings per share, they were estimated at -$3, so they're not bringing in any money. And look at the actual -$38. That was very disappointing, okay? So we'll see how market reacts to this. Crypto's not doing much lately. Bitcoin is trying to make a move to reclaim 80,000. This company just keeps buying. Maybe it will pay off in a couple of years. We'll see, but that's not good earnings, okay? Over there. And then tomorrow in the pre-market, if you guys are watching, Walt Disney, Uber Technologies will be reporting. And then in the after hours tomorrow, there it is, that one, IONQ. That's that quantum computing company. That's the one I've been trading all week. Okay, you can see that their earnings are negative 36 cents. They're looking to bring in about $50 million of revenue. But I'd like to see the guidance, the forward guidance for quantum computing and what these guys have to say. Guys, if you want like a top 3 quantum computing securities, the tickers are IONQ. The other one is RGTI, and the other one is QBTS. Those are like 3 of the top quantum computing securities that you could hear about them in the next little bit, right? Could be the future of quantum computing. Okay, guys, if you want signals, we send out signals throughout the day, and free Telegram channel is linked at the top of YouTube for you guys. You guys are welcome to join that as well. And if you want to join the team, you guys are welcome to join our website, stocksnipertrading.com. Education, all of our live sessions. Guys, tomorrow I might cancel our Tokyo session. It is game 1 of Montreal and Buffalo, and I might be going to that game. So I might be canceling this. I might be going to Buffalo tomorrow for the game. So I'll let you guys know in the afternoon if it's canceled, because I might be heading out to watch that game 1. And if you want a blog, we got free blogs available. And guys, if you can leave a like on the channel, subscribe to the channel, we do appreciate it, okay? Guys, I have the YouTube chat kind of hidden. I'm not looking at it today. It kind of gets carried away lately, so I don't want to lose focus. So I'll be focused on the chat in the guys in Zoom, and I'm not trying to single out anybody or on YouTube or anything like that, but sometimes it gets a little bit the spamming and all kinds of things, and I lose focus. So I kind of just want to trial it where I'm not even looking at the chat. I have it hidden. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. I can't see it. So you guys do what you want to do, and I hope we have a good session, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to do a quick analysis on gold, okay, starting from the daily. And let's move in a little slower. So you can see I'm not worried about the all-time high. I'm not worried about this and that. That's just going to be a waste of time. I do not think gold tonight is going to shoot up to the all-time high. So we don't need to start top-down analysis up here, okay? You can see where I'm going to put more of my focus on my top-down. More in this area, okay? We're only trading for about 90 minutes. So what is the point of doing and figuring out all-time high, okay? I'm sure that you guys know how to do that. It's not that complicated, okay? Just look at the candles and follow them, okay? What I want to do is more what is going on in this structure as of late, okay? You can see that we do have now a top right up here, and it's a red block, okay? It's very, very, it just sticks out to you, okay? It's just red. You can see we tried impulsively to break above there and it failed, okay? Is there a green zone that we can see? Yes, that's a green zone right around there. And I'm going to stretch it into the future and make it red to green. Okay, so we're in a flag, okay? We had this big drop down, kind of bottomed out here, came back up, and we're slowly coming down. Will it build itself back up a little bit, or are we going to come all the way back down? So this is where we're trading. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and then Thursday, and then Friday NFP, okay? So you can see how it's kind of been consolidating leading into this NFP. So now what I can do is start to dissect some of these candles. What I like to do is maybe figure out right up here as a point of interest, yellow line, okay? Why? I'll explain it. Just let me just make it a little thicker, okay? Because this was Friday of last week, so that was last week's high, okay? 4,660, 4,660. Maybe let's catch this low. Why this low? This was Monday's low. This is our weekly low. So we have last week's high and this week's low. Exactly this week's low is 4,500 on the dot, okay? So I want to see this week if gold can break last week's high or if gold is going to break this week's low, right? So that's what I want to look for this week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place 2 alerts on those yellow lines, okay? Right here, last week's high, add alert, create it, perfect. And this week's low, 4,500 on the dot, add an alert, okay? Whether gold comes down there tonight, tomorrow, Friday, next week, doesn't matter. I have alerts registered. Now, maybe I want to go a little bit more now in between these yellow lines and see what's going on inside the yellow lines, right? So what is a good thing to start off with is let's see this trend inside the yellow lines. I see it push down. I see it come back up, get rejected, wick, wick, and a wick. I see another move down that created that lower low, and I see it slowly trying to come back up, but I see the rejection there. And this black candle, okay, is Monday, the start of the week. It is a structural bar. Why? Because it kind of engulfed this blue candle right here. Okay, you can see it clearly engulfed it, kind of swallowed it, so engulfed it. So that's a structural candle in my opinion, okay? It's not, like you can debate it, I don't care. But when I look at price action, I see that this black candle engulfed that one. So when I see that, I give the momentum to the sellers, right? They engulf the buyers. They're stronger on this day starting the week, okay? So what I like to do with that is I like to cut that candle in half and find a point of control, starting with the opening balance and dragging it down to the closing balance. Very simple, okay? And now what I do is I find the 50% exact halfway point right there, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I like to find the point of control of that candle, 1 standard deviation above, 1 standard deviation below on the Fibonacci. It's basically your 382,618. It's your golden zone, okay? And I stretch it into the future. And I see now how we've been trading in that point of control. So now when I'm looking at yesterday, I can see gold opened, slight pullback, did not take out the weekly low, came up with a higher low. It was bullish, 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 coming right through. You see, we cut through that point of control. It made that impulse move right up there, and then it got rejected back down. And look where it closed. It closed right at our lower point of control at the bottom, right? The middle, you got the 382,618, and it closed right below it, okay? And now we have our opening price right now, okay? So I can look at where I'm bringing the red box down right to, it's lined up perfectly with our close and our open today. If you want to make a yellow line there, you can. Normally I don't because I know what I'm looking for, but for you guys, if you need to see it, that's the close, that's the open. So I'm not even going to mark our high today because it's like kind of irrelevant right now because we're only 40 minutes in our daily candle. So even if we make mark our high and low right now, you know, the volume will come in and we'll break those. So maybe when we go on the lower time frames, we'll see more structure. Okay. So those are kind of some points of interest right now. I want to see if the buyers can come back in and trade in here. But that's a big red block that they got to go through. So sellers might bring it back down. One more point of interest is if we get down to where we closed on Monday and where we opened on Tuesday. So that would be an ideal location to place a yellow line. Potentially place an alert on it too if we get down there. And that's 45.21. And maybe you can place an alert at yesterday's high as well at 4586. Because that's a fresh high in the market, and we want to see if the candle can turn blue and fill up that wick again and get up there. Okay, so I'm adding alerts. You guys see where all of my daily alerts are. That's all I'm doing for the daily right now. Okay, you see, guys, normally when I start these calls, I'm dissecting all the way up here. I'm showing you all-time high, this, that, but we're not coming up there. Okay, so it's just going to be a waste of time. So what we did is a little bit of analysis in here, and now I'm going to the lower time frame. From daily, I'm moving to hourly, 1H. Okay, now we can see more specifically how it's been trading on each individual hour. You know, yesterday, today, how it's been moving. So I see the big bearish candle came at 11 a.m. Right over there. 11 a.m. after market news, right? And then came down. We were consolidating noon, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., and then coming back up. Market close. Here's futures, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. You can follow it, 10 p.m., 11. There's midnight. There's 1 p.m. or sorry, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. There's London now. London market open 3 a.m. We were bullish again, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. They brought it down. 7 a.m. again, another bullish hourly structural candle close above. And then we started to move. There's COMEX, there's Wall Street. And then we started to come down 11 a.m., noon, consolidating and pushing down right now. Okay, so that's our hourly. When we look at our hourly, we've got a double top up there. Right there was the double top. There's the break of that neckline and that drop, and then it came right back up and it's pushing back down. So will it regain some type of support to try to come back in here? Again, that could be a double top on the hourly and maybe have that M and continue to push down. Maybe the sellers are already ready to push this thing down, okay? But it is still technically bullish off of this. It could pull back and try to go back up there, okay? So more specifically, what we can see is we are now in an hourly downtrend starting from 11 a.m. Eastern this morning. So 11 a.m., there's noon, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. market close. And this is the daily candle that just opened right now and it's bearish with 15 minutes to go until we get our next hourly candle, okay? So now when I go into the 5 minutes, this is what we see on the 5 minutes. Okay, a lot of tough trading in here. This was earlier this morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then they really redistributed it around noon, and this is how we're moving right now. Okay, so 5 minutes are technically coming down bearish, but if we look at higher time frame, remember higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Okay, so the 5 minute points of interest that I'm specifically looking to see what will happen tonight is if we can break this low right here, 4, 5. Let's round it up, 4,540. That's this low right here at 7 a.m. Okay, see where 7 a.m. held today and caused that. I want to see if we're going to break that today, maybe grab some liquidity down in here, or if we're going to continue to hold above it, okay? So that's one point of interest tonight I'd like to see. I'm going to add an alert at this red 5 minute line, see what happens there. And then maybe have one more alert to see what can happen above here tonight. If it can get above all of this 5 minute resistance right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. And if it can build, then I know we're approaching that 50% of that big red zone. So I'd like to see maybe what will happen here if it does get up there. Okay, so these are more lower time frame alerts. And if you want to draw like a trend line with what's happening, you absolutely can. You can see we're trending down, we're trending down, we're continuing to trend down, trend down. There was a little break of this trend, right? Let me just make it red to be consistent with this time frame. Bring it all the way down. Okay, so you see it's descending. Welcome, guys, on Zoom. Good evening, guys. Dennis, welcome. Armand, Pershindetia, welcome. Thank you for joining, bro. Danny, welcome. Yep. You didn't show up, maybe because Montreal beat the Lightning Bolts. And they match up better against the Sabres, believe it or not. So they split the series 2-2. Buffalo doesn't have as good goaltending as Tampa Bay. So I think Montreal, we're going to get through Buffalo, no problems. Val, welcome. Sergio, thanks for joining. Welcome, guys. Christoph, welcome. Financial Juice, alleged explosions in Iran right now. Possible, you know, you never know, but gold really hasn't reacted. So we'll see what happens, okay? So you see, guys, we are in this little descending slope coming down, right? So will the buyers, you know, be able to break through this, maybe come back through here? But remember, it's fighting all of this resistance to get through here, or we're going to just continue to push down and maybe target to break this low right here that was established at 7 a.m. Eastern, okay? So I'm just going to now wait till 7 p.m., which is in another 12 minutes. If you guys are looking to take any trades right now, we do have a little bit of consolidation, like right in here. So I'm just going to box it in and just continue to watch and wait it out, okay? Is anyone in a trade right now? Has anyone tested out anything? Oh, right there. There it is. Financial Juice, breaking news. Explosions were heard on Question Island. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Who knows? Okay. So we could see an after effect on gold. So let's please be careful. This is breaking news. You know, we can't prevent the news from happening. We can't prevent explosions from happening. So we are trading a highly volatile commodity right now that reacts to this type of breaking news. So all I can say to anybody, because half of you guys might be selling and half of you guys might be in a buy right now, right? That's the nature of trading. Welcome to the world of trading. For every buyer, there's a seller, and every seller, there's a buyer, okay? Hopefully you're on the right end, but when you're on the right end, someone is not on the right end. That's how trading works. Sometimes I lose, sometimes someone is winning, sometimes when I'm winning, sometimes someone is losing. That's the zero-sum game of trading, okay? But what we can all do, guys, I know I sound like a broken record every day saying this, but some of you guys need to get it through your head. You need to trade with proper risk management, right? You know, I got stopped out yesterday. We talked about that. Remember, we talked about the AMD model. Someone was talking about, we saw the accumulation. We saw the manipulation, the head that broke out. We saw when it was coming down. We saw the redistribution. But remember what I said before? There could be a redistribution and it be a fake out. I got baited in on the sell, and it was the fake out of the redistribution. So I got baited in on the sell. It just dropped initially for 35 pips. That's not what I was looking for. I was looking for the bigger move. They baited it in, and then they took it back up, and then they took it right through there. So you got to understand too, when you see your model, you see your strategy, you got to know that sometimes they can fake out the strategy as well. They can fake out your model, right? So all we can do is protect your account, right? If some of you guys are doing it well and some of you guys are still not understanding the concept of this. Some of you guys are still betting your entire account on one trade. To me, that's very silly. That's like reckless trading. You're not even, I don't even know what you're doing. But if that's what you're going to continue to do, you basically have to get lucky on every single trade. If that's the way you want to trade and that's the way you want to go about your business, that's on you, okay? But some of us choose not to do that. Like if I'm looking to take a trade this session, right? If I'm going to risk 0.5%, maybe 1% of my entire account, okay? And I'm not going to risk that all 1% or 0.5% on one trade. I break it down in multiple trades. Let's say maybe I take one trade this session. I might have another session, another trade later after the call. If I get alerted up here, I might save one more trade for tomorrow morning during COMEX. That's 3 trades, right? If you're risking 0.5% of your entire account, divide that by 3, and that will tell you how much is your risk. And if you get stopped out, it should not be the end of the world, right? Look at this. Okay, now we're getting a bullish candle breaking out. To those sellers, now we got news. Okay, so now we're getting volatility. It's still early, 6:52, and look at the volume coming in the market right now due to this news that was just released at 6:48 4 minutes ago. Okay, so you see now how gold is reacting to this breaking explosions. Now, if you were in a sell, this candle is going against you. If you're in a buy, you're loving life right now. And this is a pretty large candle compared to the other ones. Its range right now is 100 pips, and it still has 2 minutes to go, okay? So just because I see this candle does not mean I'm going to just buy and sell and just jump in and just get excited because it's blue, right? I'm going to wait for this thing to close. I'm going to watch how high it went. I saw that it got rejected at the daily point of interest right there, coming back down. Where will it close? Is this going to be just a candle to just get fizzled down and exhaust it and go back down in selling? Who knows? I'm going to wait for this entire candle to close. Okay, now we're starting to get all the red folders from coming out of New Zealand coming out. So again, if anyone is trading the NZD currency pair right now, all the high impact news is coming out. You might see some volatility with the NZD currency. We have another minute to go before this blue candle closes. And we're about 5 minutes away from our new hourly, okay? And guys, also, when you learn how to trade the stock and options markets, and I hope a lot of you guys do, you have the luxury to trade gold, and then you can trade stock market, right? You can look for your daily goal in the stock market. You don't always have to just rely on gold or oil or NASDAQ. You can trade individual corporations, okay? So that's a pretty big body candle. It has clearly closed above all of this volume behind. So I'm going to analyze this candle for future reference, just in case we do get any pullbacks. So I want to find out 50% of this 5-minute candle. And you notice how the next one is opening bullish ignited and continuing to pop the wick and continue to drive. Okay. This could be due to all of that breaking news that just we had explosions. Okay. But just because the gold is moving doesn't mean that I have to forget to do my analysis. Okay. Just in case it pulls back here, I want to be ready for it. Maybe I might entertain buying a pullback. Who knows? Okay. So there's 50% right there. And I've got the point of control identified. I can also add an alert in there. If it comes back in there, I could potentially look for a pullback buy. Wow. Okay. So you see what news can do, guys? all of this, like just all of this trading sideways and breaking news, and look at it. It's gone. Here we go. So local sources reporting hearing the sound of explosions in the Iraqi Kurdistan region on Wednesday morning. Fars News. Headquarters of the anti-Iranian separatist groups in the Sordash camp in Salamania was targeted by drone attacks. Okay, so that's the explanation for what's going on right now in gold. So if you guys want to understand, some of you guys are saying, Ron, why is gold moving so high? Why is there so much blue volume in 2 5-minute candles? There it is. Breaking news that you and I cannot control, right? If you were holding sells or you were in sells, this happens, okay? You got to understand, you are trading a very volatile security in a very volatile geopolitical time in our lifetime right now, okay? So, but one thing is, you can manage your losses. Some of you guys don't know how to do that. I understand that. It's not easy, but you got to decide at some point, okay? Because these 2 candles alone, if we just measure from when it started to how high it went, these things just went up 300 pips. 300. You know when sometimes I'm placing a 50 pip stop loss and you guys are saying, Ron, you're crazy, a 50 pips, 60 pip stop loss? That's 300 pips in less than 10 minutes, okay? I can guarantee you accounts are blown right now, okay? And I'm not a market maker and I'm not a banker or anything to understand this. I'm a retail trader like you and I know that these 2 candles have liquidated tons of retail sellers. Why? Because they're over leveraged. That's it, right? There's going to be someone on the call who says, Ron, I just blew up my count. That's pretty normal. We have that on every single call. Okay, it's getting pretty repetitive here. And we'll probably get more and more breaking news as it unfolds, okay? And we still haven't moved into a 7 p.m. candle, and we're still 1 hour away from the futures market open, okay? So prepare yourself for a lot of volatility in the next few hours to come. We have 1 more minute, then we're going into 7 p.m. Guys, thanks everyone for joining. There's over 300 of you guys. If you can leave a like, subscribe to the channel, we appreciate you guys. You guys are welcome to chat amongst yourselves in YouTube. I have the chat hidden. I don't want to get into it. There was too much. It was more of a circus this week, so I'm going to stay out of it. You guys are welcome to chat amongst yourselves, do whatever you want. I'm going to stay focused on Zoom, and I'm going to stay focused on the candles. And we've got now Trump speaking. So here we go now. Now get ready for fireworks. Breaking news, Trump, Iran, U.S. mutually agree to pause Project Freedom shipping movement through Strait of Hormuz while blockade stays in full effect. Donald Trump, Project Freedom paused amid progress toward Iran agreement. Okay, so now you got explosions and you have Donald Trump now getting on the mic. So shit's about to get real. So, sometimes it's just get your popcorn and don't even worry about buying and selling right now. Just get your popcorn and enjoy the show. What I like to do is also, guys, I like to educate. I know some of you guys don't like education, but I like to educate, okay? How did I learn about the 50% of a candle? Okay? That's a common question. And it was self-learned. How? I'll show you how. You see this red line that I placed at the beginning of the call? I said, I would like to see if gold can break this tonight. Why? Because it was the 5-minute high and it was right below that daily point of interest. For the people that are paying attention to the call, will probably wonder why. And now look at it. Now you see that big bullish candle? Is that not 50% of it? That previous resistance if I measure it, it might be identical, right, to 50%. Let's do it, okay? Let's now back test our theory. There's the open of that big bullish candle with breaking news, okay? So with breaking news too, look at, I'm at the open, ignited. I'm bringing it all the way to the close. Does it not just overlap 0.5? Look, right there, 50%. Like, that's how I learned how to do this. The volume moves after there's news, right? News happens, volume then moves. Now, there's a perfect example of how a previous structural high now turns into a point of control into the future. For you guys that want to learn, I'm trying to teach this. And you see how it's right now at that point of interest right below. So I'm waiting for a pullback back down to this one, but it might not come down here. Maybe it just pulls back into this one and it's gone again, right? But where's the better buy? Obviously deeper down in there where it all started, but there's levels to get down there, okay? So at each one of these, I'm just placing an alert to see if it comes in, right? And I'm still waiting, right? We're still in that red zone. It could come down, right? If you're looking to buy gold on a pullback, that would be a decent pullback, but it's not the best, right? That's a nice pullback in that point of control. That's a deeper one. Obviously, it's great to buy down there if it comes down there, but right now, that's what we got going on. So for those traders that want to learn, now you see how previous resistance can turn into an active point of control. You just saw that live on a breaking news volume-based candle. So that's a structural candle. So learn that. When Ron says structural candles, that's why I'm cutting structural candles in half. Does this make sense to anybody on the call or just make sense to me? I hope one person says, Ron, yeah, it makes sense. That's it. Then I've done my job for the night. I can sleep like a baby tonight, Val. Okay, there we go. We got 2 people. Val, Christoph, amazing. So yeah, that's how I learned this, just by watching candles. They don't always have to be breaking news candles. They don't always have to, it could be Wall Street market open. Like you'll see, if you have your eyes looking at these things, you're gonna start to notice these things. Like you will start to see, and then you're gonna have that aha moment that it makes sense, right? Then I know that you're doing your charting correctly. I know that you're identifying your structural candles properly. I know that you know how to use your Fibonacci tool to find the point of control, the golden ratio. And then the only other thing you have to do, there's 2 more things now. You have to be patient. You got to be disciplined for it to pull back into those zones. That's why I have alerts. And then the other option is when you do take a trade in those possible, you have to use proper risk management. That's it. And if you do that consistently, you will end up making money in these markets. You know, it's not foolproof, right? It's just you got to use proper risk management, you got to be disciplined, and you got to be able to identify this. That's it. That's how most traders who are consistently daily do this. It's not a secret. Okay, and Trump is still talking. The pause follows Pakistan, other countries' request. Project Freedom paused for a short period of time to see whether or not the agreement can be finalized and signed. Okay, so you see, we have not pulled back here and we have not pulled back here. The market is still moving up. Okay, so it's your choice whether you want to buy the high or you want to wait for a pullback. That's your choice. Okay, the gold could continue to move without even pulling back, right? We've got explosions. We have breaking news. There might not be a pullback until sometime later tonight. We might not revisit this till tomorrow morning, but that's why I have alerts for when it comes in here. I'm actually enjoying this, guys, not looking at the YouTube chat right now. Because I know sometimes in these Tokyo sessions, it can be a circus in there and then I lose focus. So I'm trying to stay focused with you guys, stay on the education, stay on point with you guys. And for those that want to learn, I'm teaching about the education. So you guys can still stay focused. But you guys can probably see what I go through if you're following that YouTube chat. So now we were trading up here earlier this morning at a very important time. Around 9:30 a.m. Eastern, gold was trading up there. That's Wall Street. 10:30, we had all the news. You know, this is the big North American market. And then we had that sell-off. And then it was coming down. It came down nicely. And we just had breaking news. And look at it coming right back up. Okay. So if it makes it all the way up to this yellow line, I know that that's a daily point of interest. Let's go back to our daily to figure out what is this yellow line at 4586. Maybe I should have wrote it down for us to remind us what that is, okay? Maybe that's what I'll do next time we do a session. I will write down these daily points of interest so we know what they are, okay? Look at the daily candle now, okay? So remember yesterday, it was blue, 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 and it filled up there, then it got rejected. Now we just came down, we had that breaking news start, and look at it, it's a blue candle filling right back up. So if we make it up there, that's yesterday's high, okay? So you see what I'm doing? I'm just clicking on it. I'm gonna go to the text and just remind us that this is yesterday's daily high. Okay, so we know that that's a resistance, but can be definitely broken and create a new daily high, okay? So that's what we're gonna see, if it can target there or if it can get rejected back down. But this is not just a normal candle. This is now a news candle. This is now explosions in Iran, okay? And Donald Trump is talking, so we got a lot going on right now, okay? So that's what we're following on the 5 minutes. If for some reason it breaks this and later tonight, like off the call, you still have this black candle to continue to fill back up here. There's a point of interest where it closed and it opened. So now I would draw another yellow daily point of interest at 46.13, and that is where you can write on it, text. This was the opening balance of that yesterday's candle. So yesterday's or previous day, let's use that word, previous day's opening balance. And I know that the previous opening balance were sellers. It opened and there was initial buyers, then the sellers took over and really took it down. So are we coming all the way through there? And we'll have an interaction maybe here tonight at yesterday's high, or we'll have an interaction at the previous day's high, okay? Now on the 5 minutes, this is what we got. So see, guys, do you guys like with the writing, with the text on the sides? If you guys like that, I'm more than happy to do this on our calls for us, just to remind us what those are. I don't normally do this for myself because I know what these lines are when I'm doing it, but for those, maybe this helps. Let me know if it helps. If not, you know, then I know if it comes here, that's yesterday's high. And then if it comes all the way through there, I know it's the previous day's opening balance, okay? And then what you can do is add an alert, because that's a very important daily point of interest, right? So you see I have an alert there, I have an alert there. At basically every single yellow line, I have an alert. Country, how come gold is buying when they agreed the Strait of Hormuz will remain closed for some time? There's explosions, breaking news of explosions, a war, right? So gold is not gonna potentially sell when there's explosions and war. So that's, I'm not an expert, but I think that that's what's triggering this bullish move, regardless of whatever the hell the Strait is doing. If the Strait of Hormuz is opening or closing, I don't think that matters right now. I think this has more to do with these explosions that just happened at, what time was it? 6:48, right over here. Over here. And look at it, it's still moving. Higher low, higher low, higher low, still driving. Okay. So now we're gonna drive into yesterday's daily high. So you can see it's retracing all the way back to yesterday's daily high. Okay. And if you look at let's look at our scanner to see what's going on right now. Okay, so gold on the 5 minutes is heavily overbought. Okay, you can see all of these blue candles. It's trading at 81 on the RSI. The 15-minute is right at 70. 30 minutes at 64, hourly at 62, right? Daily still has a lot of room to run, right? Same with the 4-hour. On the shorter time frames, we are very overbought right now. Same with NASDAQ. NASDAQ has been pumping like crazy. The 15-minute, 30-minute, hourly, due to all of the after hours earnings, is overbought. US 30 is overbought. Look at oil. Oil is dumping right now. Oil is very oversold right now on the lower time frames. If you're looking for maybe a potential intraday buy on oil, I wouldn't just go blindly and buy, because this could continue to drop. We have breaking news. But oil on RSI is oversold. 23 on the 5 minutes, 21 on the 15 minutes, 24 on the 30 minutes, and less than 30 on the 1 hour. So we're in very oversold territory on oil, and we're in very overbought territory on gold and NASDAQ right now. GBP USD, you can see how this is affecting the US dollar as well, okay? But this does not give you the green light to just go and buy and sell according to RSI. This is just letting us know, like a scanner of what potentially we could look for if we're looking to trade, okay? And if you're shorting gold, you're getting crushed right now, regardless of how overbought we are, okay? So it's not an opportunity to short anything right now. Gold, it's now we broke yesterday's high. Okay, so how high can it go? Let's look above this yellow line now. Okay, this is where we were trading right here. Okay, so now I can look at the times. This was Monday, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. This was going into London. We were pushing down. What is a good structural area? 4,600. I'm not just guessing a psychological number. What I'm looking at is structure in the market. You see where it came down? There's a body there, held support, back up. There's where it closed below. Look at, if I was to cut that black candle in half, find the point of control, it's a wick and a wick, and it's right around 4,600. So is gold going to continue to break yesterday's high right now and drive up to 4,600? That might be a potential area to look for, maybe cool off, because look, it's cutting the, look guys, okay? Grab your Fibonacci tool from this yellow line from yesterday's high, drag it up to the previous day's opening balance, and look at how close that red line is right to the 0.5. So it's basically right 4,599 and 82 cents. Like psychologically right at 4,600. So if you want to draw yourself like a little hidden red block right there, and I'm not saying to sell when it gets there, I'm saying let's observe when it gets there. That could be a hidden block in the market that potentially cools it back down before coming up to previous day's opening balance. So what I do is I stretch this into the future where we are trading, and now I see we just got above there and now it's pushing back down, okay? This doesn't mean just short this black candle, because it could find, it could just find a wick right at 50% of this candle and continue driving back up. I don't see any double tops. I don't see it doing, I just see it now trading at yesterday's previous high right now, okay? So this was a monster move with that breaking news of those explosions, and that move was 430 pips. If you got that, congratulations. You should be done for the day. If you had to buy anywhere before, on that candle, that candle, that candle, that candle, you should be wrapping it up right now and saying, see you later. I'll be back tomorrow trading. You've hit your goal. What else do you need to do? If you are selling and you're in drawdown or you got clapped, it happens. But now you got to understand, you are selling. You had the momentum. It was selling, but you cannot control the breaking news, right? You can't control it. No trader can. You cannot anticipate when that's going to be released or when an explosion happens, unless you're an insider and you're pulling the trigger or whatever the hell you're doing, okay? So us as retail traders, the only thing that you can do is protect your losses by using the proper risk management, which most of you guys cannot do because you guys are full port traders gambling. And then you guys cry and whine when you blow up your account. Like it's anyone's fault. It's your own stupidity. Okay, if I did that too, I think you guys would be calling me stupid as well. I understand how it works. Okay, so anyone that full ports their account, loses it all on one trade, I'm sorry to say, but you are trading real stupid. Good luck in your career. You're not going to go too far trading with today's volatility. But whatever, that's how traders trade right now. You guys are providing a lot of liquidity to the markets. As sad as it sounds, but those are facts. If you guys enjoy giving your money to others in the market, you can continue doing that if you choose to, or stop. The choice is yours, not mine. Okay, so you see that little dip right into about 50% of that bullish candle? That bullish candle had some pending buyers waiting. They got activated and they're pushing it right back up. This candle is going to close in 10 seconds. Okay, we might be closing back below that daily point of interest, yesterday's high. Okay, it looks like a little bit of a breakout, which could continue to drive higher, but right now we are below it. Okay, so this is where maybe we might see a little cooling off. Maybe, and when I say maybe, what I mean is it came in, it's right there. Let's say it comes back in. Maybe you'll see like a little mini M top up there to drop it down just a little bit. It could just come down like that and then just continue to drive right back up, right? Thanks, guys. For over 400 viewers. If you guys can subscribe to the channel, I want to get back into the chat, right? If you guys can kind of, maybe during New York, we'll get back in the chat. But right now, it's been a circus as of late, so I want to stay out of that circus. This is your RSI indicator telling us it's overbought on the 5 minutes, but it could still continue to pump. So I'm waiting for a potential pullback in here or in here. And I might not get it on this call. So then my only other option is maybe to short it down just a little bit, but it's risky. That's a risky trade. But it came in there again and got rejected. But I know it's happening at a daily point of interest and yesterday's high. So we're not just at any location on the chart. We're at a daily point of interest. So this is where it could cool off a little bit right here. If you feel comfortable taking that sell and you are counter trading. So like, let's say for example, you sold and it came down to that body, that's up 70 pips back to that opening balance of that big blue candle. That's definitely where you would go to a break even and maybe scale out, take some money out or close the trade because you're coming to dip buyers that could take it back up and then you're in trouble. Okay. You have to understand that. That's a counter trading rule that applies on all time frames, on all securities, on all sessions, whether there's breaking news or there is no breaking news. If you're counter trading a trend, that should be like, you have to know that's an automatic rule, right? I know if you want to sell, you want it to go down like this. But it's not going to happen. Why? Because you have breaking news with explosions in Iran. Okay. So, what you might get is a little dip, which is 100 pips, and then you get that big move coming back up. Okay. And if it drops all the way down to there, you have to respect this point of control. You have to. I don't know how else clearly to say this. Okay. Because that could be, if it comes down there, you are potentially, in the money on a massive sell of 200 pips, and you think it's going to break that and go down, and then it just drives right like that. So I don't play a would have, should have, could have game. I play to a destination, point A to point B, get my money and get out. That's it. And if I go to a trade and it's not going my way, then I respect the next level. Okay. Let's say I was selling, let's say I sold here and I placed my stop loss above there. If it's coming up there, that's it. I respect the zone and I get out. That's it. Because it could bypass that and continue driving to yesterday's previous opening balance. Okay, so that's now, we got rejected in here, rejected. We're in here. We got a new 30-minute candle coming up in 5 minutes. If you look at your 30-minute candle, so it's the 30-minute candle has been driving on that news right here. It got a wick at that yesterday's point of interest. This 30-minute candle has not closed. It's got 5 more minutes. So I might as well wait to see, because maybe it might come back up in the next 5 minutes, close with blue volume above that daily point of interest. And the next 30-minute candle might have some fuel to continue to fill the wick and drive further. Okay. Maybe our 5 minutes will be getting ready to double top and then drop in the next 30 minutes. Okay. I'm going to continue to wait it out. I can look at my spreads right now because there's volatility. So maybe spreads are fluctuating. Make sure I have the correct lot size that I want to take. If I do take a trade, I was trading gold earlier. So we found some sellers at the daily at this yesterday's daily high. So a daily point of interest. Okay. Does that mean it's going to come all the way down? No, but maybe a second top could bring in more selling pressure. So now it's came down like that. Maybe we'll come back in and then maybe have a heavier drop. Or it doesn't drop at all. It just picks up buyers and goes right through here again. What do you guys think is going to happen in the next, going into 7:30, right? We're still not even in the futures market yet. That will have volatility in itself. There's no other news regarding that explosion. Maybe we'll get some coming in soon. Maybe it's a false flag. Who knows? Could be a false flag. And then you'll see maybe a correction. However, maybe what if they announce another explosion? Then gold will continue to pump. Big basketball game tonight. Lakers against Oklahoma. Game 1, LeBron James. Sergio, did I watch Spurs game? I caught a little bit of it. Yeah, it's really entertaining series. Yep. There's gonna be some good basketball now down to the wire. I had no idea the Knicks were gonna blow out 76ers like that, but there's gonna be some tighter games, I think, tonight. Okay, and we're going to go into a new 30-minute candle coming in 1 minute. It's going to represent 7:30 p.m. Nick, do I watch UFC? Yes. I try to catch it every weekend. And that's a pretty good leg down, you know. If you like from there to there, that's almost 80 pips. Not bad. Hamza or Strickland? Oh, Hamza. Yeah. That's going to be an interesting fight. Okay, so now we're at 7:30, a new 30-minute candle. That's a dip so far, okay? But it came up, one leg down. What if it comes back up? You know, the second leg is always, you know, not always, but has a high probability of being bigger volume. But it could just cut, you know, continue cut right through there and continue to drive. If you want to use your Fibonacci tool from the entire move from right here up to there, okay, we've got a high so far. So grab your Fibonacci tool. If you want to make it like this, get your Fibonacci from the wick, from that blue candle that started all of this, from that explosion news to the highest point right there. We know the first discount needs to be 23.6, so we need to flip it, go click on it, reverse. There it is, okay? So just by using the Fibonacci, we are now at that 23% reversal right there, shallow pullback. If it comes down to 38.2, right there. If we come to 50%, now we're at our point of control right here. That's better. And then if it drops to the 618, it's right there lined at the bottom of our green box. If it comes to the 786, that's a nice deep discounted pullback, and it's at our yellow daily point of interest. And then, you know, if you want to use your Fibonacci tool, right, you can use it. I'll leave it on. Okay, so we see we're retracing right now to 23.6. Okay, so far there's, you see a little bit of a dip. The buyers are coming in right now. Do you guys know how to use this Fibonacci tool? So all I did was plot it from 650, right when we had that breaking news. From the lowest point, this is where I'm doing now the entire range. From the wick to the wick. I'm not doing the volume, okay? I'm not finding point of control. I'm doing the entire range of that move, and now I'm looking for retracements. So you see how naturally it just retraced down to that body to body, right at the 23.6, and now it's coming back up bullish, okay? But it still has to make a high. It's got to get above that wick. We'll see how it transacts back here. It could be the double top in here. Regardless, we're consolidating right in here. You know, if you want to kind of trap this volume right now, you certainly can, and continue to be patient. Now the market is again accumulating. Buyers, sellers, buyers. Again, for that next move to either break through bullish or to maybe come back down. Does the, see how now you can use a Fibonacci as well with the top-down analysis. And you see when I get overlapping, when I have the Fibonacci overlapping my higher time frame daily points of interest, it just strengthens my, you know, my signals there. So, but all I got to do is continue to wait patient for it to come down there, right? So like this would be an ideal area to be buying if it can come into here, like somewhere like right around there. Why? Because that's a nice retracement to the 0.5 of the entire news, to the 618, to that point of control of that candle, back down to that daily point of interest. I have multiple confluences there. I have like that would be an ideal discounted pullback but it's not there yet. So should we be buying this shallow pullback? If we do, we might get trapped and it comes back down, right? This is the hardest part of trading, in my opinion, is this. Do we buy now? Should we wait for it here? But it might not come down here. So then maybe we should be looking for a buy here. But that's not the right mindset to have, right? Because I know in an hour it could come down here. I know I want to get in a buy or sell on the call to make it entertaining for everybody, but I don't want to force trades just for entertainment, because my money is on the line, right? And I still want to wait for a proper entry. And I know some of you guys get ants in your pants when I don't take a trade. But it doesn't bother me now because I'm not looking at the chat. So I have no idea what you guys are saying. You guys can be clowning me. I don't care, right? When I don't see it, I don't give a shit. But if I see it, then I call you out. That's why I blocked it. I wanted to try it today by blocking the YouTube chat. And it's helping me, guys. It really is. I don't care if you guys are spamming. I don't care if you guys are asking for buy and sell. I don't care if you guys are asking anything. I don't care, right? I'm just reading the chart. I hope that those that want to learn are learning. Those that are spamming, continue spamming. You know, you're just hurting the chat, not me. Nick, you or Hamza, who am I putting money on? Obviously you. I'll double down on that. And don't forget, guys, okay, in about 20, what do we got? In just over 20 minutes, we have the futures market opening up, okay? So that's going to bring in additional volatility, right? So at least we're seeing something developing now. Now there's, okay, maybe a pattern we recognize. It came up to that daily point of interest, back down here to that shallow pullback 23.6. Maybe it's trying to come back up with a lower high. That's what I'm saying. Maybe we might see a double top developing and then drop further down to here or to here. Then if it does come here, we have to respect this box no matter what, right? Got to respect it because that could be where it makes its bigger move. If it bypasses this, like it could be a black candle that cuts right through there, grabs all those orders and then comes down here. Then we really have to respect this box because that's what started it all right there. That's the news candle that started it. That was those explosions, right? Oh shit, I don't want to move my Fibonacci, sorry. Guys, thank you. We have 500 viewers on YouTube. Amazing, guys. Subscribe. Look, we're almost at 97,000. Maybe we can get another 50 subs today and get 97K. And we're going to be moving into New York's next week. And we're going to introduce a little bit of stock and options too. I might be doing 2 calls per day. We might have 90 minutes of Forex post New York, take a 15-20 minute break, and then have another session with 90 minutes of stock and options trading. And for those that want to learn, you're welcome to join. For those that don't care about stock and options, then join our Forex trading sessions or join Dave in the morning with the snipers and trade Colmex and Wall Street Market Open with gold and others. I kind of don't want you guys missing out on the stock market. It's it's historic right now. Like, man, it's unbelievable. There's a lot to follow, right? But just keep it simple. Follow a few securities you're familiar with. I'm trading IONQ all week this week. I picked that security. I like the way it moves. I like its volatility. I have a strategy right now that's working. I've been studying it, buying the dips on bullish days on NASDAQ when Wall Street market opens, those dip buys. And then when the volume comes back in, takes it back up, it moves 2%. If I get 2, 3, 4, 5%, I'm done. It's a nice little intraday trade. Hit my daily goal and get out. Now you're trading like you're watching Wall Street, market dips, you buy the dip, drive it up, get your money and get out. Does it always happen? I don't want everyone to think that that's going to work on every single Wall Street dip. No, but on bullish days when NASDAQ is green trading, I watch NASDAQ how it trades right now in the futures. I watch how it moves into Europe. I watch pre-market. NASDAQ, if you watch NAS100, it's been steady bullish. So then when you get that drop in Wall Street, it's a nice profit taking for traders who are in the money. They want to realize their profit, and then it dips down to potential buyers on discount like myself. And then I pick it up and I move and moves up. It's an intraday trade, doesn't need to be a scalp. You can hold it. And that one is a position as well. So if it goes 2% in drawdown, I'm not panicking because I layer in. I layer in 100 shares at a time, and then I might be looking to add on another dip and hold it overnight. It's a tech security, it's quantum computing. It's very volatile. I know it's volatility. It has 5%, 10% days. But if I'm holding it for 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, Do I think quantum computing is going to go bankrupt anytime soon? No. So if I stay close in the money, I can, get my money back and some. And then cost averaging. We learned about that on our stock and options bootcamp. Dollar cost averaging. It's a good strategy to use in the stock market on top securities if you know how to use your dry powder. I don't do that with Forex. Okay, I want to make that clear. I do this style of strategy trading with securities like Amazon, Apple, Tesla, Google, Nvidia, right? If Nvidia drops 5%, I buy 100 shares. If it drops another 5%, yeah, I'm in drawdown. I'll add another 100 shares. Eventually, when a tech is green, it rebounds and you're right back in the money. And now you have more shares to make more profit, right? But sometimes you'll nail the trade right away and you go right in the money. Then take your money and run and rinse and repeat it the next day. Okay, so we're driving right back up. Now we're transacting back in this zone at that daily point of interest. We're trading at yesterday's daily high again, so it could continue to push up. We're in an uptrend, right? It's making higher highs, higher lows. So you see it didn't break that shallow pullback at that 23.6 on that Fibonacci. It did not break. Now it's got that next leg coming up. So what I want to see is will it have that, that M top coming down? It's very visual, it's very clear, but we have bullish momentum that could break through this. Okay, then I want to see what type of reaction we'll get at this zone, right at 4,600 on the dot. And if you were on the call with us, you know how I figured that out right over there. I'm not going to explain it because those that are paying attention will understand. What sports do we have on tonight, guys? Anyone going to watch the Lakers game? Let's see what we got. Detroit and Cleveland. I think Detroit's going to take care of that series. 8:30 tonight. That's the game I'll be watching. Lakers at Thunder. I got my alerts on my charts, so I might get alerted while I'm watching the basketball game. And I'll trade with proper risk management. I trade on my mobile, so I welcome alerts. I'll be eating some popcorn, watching the game, and I'll enjoy that. Hockey, we got Colorado. That was a wild game. 9-6 the other day. I thought it was a baseball game. You don't see hockey games at 9-6 often. So there tonight. And then tomorrow, guys, Montreal and Buffalo. There's a 99% chance I'm going to that game. I might be buying 2 tickets off of scalpers, right? I'm a scalper myself, so I know how to deal with scalpers. Buffalo is only about 90 minutes away from me. And you might see Ron at the game. Look behind the glass. You'll see me banging. You'll see me banging the glass. Maybe I'll jump on the ice. maybe we'll streak on the ice to get some exposure. imagine jumping on the ice naked on live TV. That would be something. With a big green candle or with a big green candle painted on my chest. Yeah, like that guy on the Super Bowl. Yeah, that was Alex. Like he's a famous trader. That's great publicity. Let's see if we get any other news on the Iran explosion right now. Oh. No, these are all a couple days ago. Oh, it's in the Iraqi Kurdistan region. Oh, sorry, maybe not Iran, maybe close, but let me write this. QESHM. What is that? Qasem Island? I don't know how to say that. Oh, this was back. This is a couple months. So it's breaking news. It's not even out here. Island has to be in the Gulf. Yeah, it's not even on there. Even Financial Juice doesn't have anything after. So we'll continue to monitor that throughout the day. Danny, I'm going to embarrass Canada more than Trudeau. I don't think I can. I think that guy's embarrassed Canada enough. I don't think anyone can top that. That guy is a true embarrassment to the entire world. Guys, on behalf of all Canadians, we apologize for Justin Trudeau. We apologize. Yes, he does have a woman now. Kate Perry. What a world we live in. Okay, so 10 minutes away from futures, right? We've got some development at the second top, but could continue bullish. Okay, so again, we're going to get some volatility in the next 10 minutes. So be prepared, right? Okay, so we're getting that bullish breakout continuation. So you can see, for education purposes, that double tops do not always happen. Okay, you see how it was developing? It came up, it came down, it was coming. You see that black candle? It was kind of building like it wanted to come down, but it didn't. Then this candle opened very bullish and continuing with that momentum above there. Okay, so just because you spot a M top, that doesn't mean that 100% it's going to go down. You still got to wait for it to come down, maybe close below here. Maybe it's a structural candle you can cut in half. Then if it comes up, then has that bigger selling. But right now it's still bullish, still moving above here. Okay, so maybe I'd like to see how it transacts going into the futures in this red zone. Dennis, you got it? Are you in on the buy? Well, yeah, buy is probably the only option, we have. Like what I said was slight pullback. They're counter pullbacks. Measure the moves if you like to see. It's a 100 pip move, right? From that wick to that wick is 100 pips. It's not bad if you got a counteractive sell, but you still have to respect that if it drops 100 pips, there's dip buyers waiting to buy it, and there's the evidence of them buying it, and they're taking it back up for a new high. So that's a lesson to sellers, okay? I'm a counter trader as well, but I'm a very disciplined counter trader. I know when I'm counter trading, that's all the market might give you is just that lag, and that's it. And you have to understand, you got to set your mindset to understand, okay, that's not bad. I get 50, 100 pips, time to get out, because you know that you're coming to some patient dip buyers. That's it. If you guys don't understand that, then don't counter trade. Stop counter trading. That's it. If you don't understand that concept, then don't counter trade. Just continue buying with the trend. That's it. Very simple. Those are 2 golden rules of trading. Some of you guys will understand it. Some of you guys will just keep spamming and not understand what I'm saying because you don't care what I'm saying because all you're worried about is a buy and sell. But that's up to you, right? Whether you want to learn this or not, it's not going to hurt me. Oh no, the Toronto Maple Leafs win the draft lottery. Are you serious? Oh, this night got really bad. they awarded the draft lottery to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Oh my goodness. Guys, there's a free Telegram channel pinned at the top of YouTube for all of you guys. There's 500 of you guys. If you want to join this free Telegram, gives you the links to our live YouTube channels. This is some stock trading I've been doing with this IONQ today and yesterday. I'm happy with 3.5%. I'm happy with 4.3%. Get my money, get out, pip and dip. Join Dave's live sessions in New York. Share some news regarding NASDAQ, commodities, all of these things. You got news, breakdown of trade ideas and signals over here, and everything we do at SST, okay? And if you want to join the team, you're welcome to join the team. You're welcome to join the Discord and be part of this with everyone else. If not, if you're comfortable on YouTube, subscribe. Thank you. We appreciate it. Like the channel and join us on a daily basis. But tomorrow's session will be canceled, okay? And then we'll come back on Thursday. There's a big hockey game tomorrow. Okay, here we go, guys. 5 more minutes, and it's the futures market open. Futures market has its own volatility in itself. And we had that breaking news, right? Okay, so there was a minor dip, continued to make a high, and now we're kind of consolidating. I'm just going to remove these fibs for now. I can put them back after. Just want to focus more on what's going on right here. And guys, I'm going to be wrapping it up at 8:15 tonight, okay? Regardless what happens in the futures, whether I take a trade or not, we're going to wrap it up at 8:15. And if you're going to continue trading tonight, just be careful on some breaking news. This could continue in overnight hours. It could continue if you're trading into Europe. It may continue into tomorrow morning in North America. And then you got Donald Trump then speaking, and all hell will break loose. Okay. Just a reminder of the news tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning. Not much, light day on the news. We don't have anything during the 8 a.m. session, just some ADP non-farm employment change, some FOMC speaker, the crude oil inventories, if you trade crude oil, those are your weekly inventories. So pretty light day, right? And then Thursday, again, a lot of low impact folders. And then the much big anticipation for the NFP this Friday with the non-farm employment change. And look at the numbers. Last month's NFP was 178,000 jobs were created. And look at the big drop, almost 3 times less in the forecast. What happened like in the last month, right? So 65,000 jobs is the projection, is the forecast, setting the bar very low for maybe a potential beat, right? If it's below 65,000, holy shit. Get ready for a US dollar decline and gold to pump back up. Okay, and we are now 2 minutes away from the futures market open. Let's just take a look at our overbought, oversold scanner over here, see what's going on. So still gold is at 75, overbought on the 5 minutes. 15 minutes right at 70. So we really haven't cooled off on the lower time frames on gold. Still see how it's still driving. Did anyone do anything with crude oil, US oil, with the overbought, right? Crude oil, US oil, right over here on the 5 minutes. Okay, it had that big drop. You know, it started to come back up, big drop and consolidating as well. So even oil being oversold is still pushing down, you know, it still hasn't really broke through. That's a bear structural candle. That's definitely a candle I would cut in half. And, you know, I can see that the buyers still haven't made their way above that candle. So it's still technically bearish, even though it's oversold on the 5 minute, 15, 30, and 1 hour. They could still push this thing down, okay? So that's crude oil over there. And let's just get ready for this. In the next 30 seconds. Yes. So, oh, welcome, Sonia. Thank you for joining. Yeah, that's great. Great news. That's not great news, but I'm happy you brought that up. 17,000 employees lost their jobs with Spirit Airlines. That just happened, guys. Spirit Airlines went bankrupt. You can probably see how the economy is. That was an affordable airline for most people. You know, like it's sad to see it go, but that's going to affect a lot of families. 17,000 employees. It could be the start, Sonia. You know, of more unemployment to come. Maybe a recession. Inflation is increasing. All of that same story. Fuel costs are going up. You know, there's no end to this right now. Like Donald Trump says, are you guys tired of winning? Maybe his family is tired of winning, but you and I are not winning. The average American, average Canadian are struggling. Average person around the world is struggling. Yet the elites are making lots of money. Look at the tech securities. Look at the elites. They're laughing. They're loving life. While majority of hardworking people are struggling. Okay, so our futures market is now open. Okay, it turned black, came back up, pushing in here. You can see maybe some volatility. We'll see the range of this candle. Taking a look at spreads as well again. My spreads have gone up dramatically. They were sitting at 0.5, now they're at 1.5. So even the spreads now are high right now. So I don't like trading with high spreads. And the volatility is causing that right now. Okay, and we might be trading right into that psychological block of 4,600 right up there. Timmy, there's divergence on RSI, but don't get trapped. Yeah, there is. Yep. Making these higher highs, and there's the lower high. But yeah, again, let's not get trapped, okay? If anything, I'd like to see it drop, maybe close back below there, and maybe, Tim, that could be the potential opportunity to sell, and then maybe that diversion, then it will start cooling off. But I wouldn't touch it right now, because this could just continue driving right through here and squeezing sellers. We don't have a really bearish structural candle coming down, a black candle closing below any of these blue candles. So there's nothing to base selling off of right now. Just I just want to see what type of interaction it gets when it engages in here at 4,600, this hidden block up here. Otherwise, just continue buying pullbacks tonight, you know. We have a spin top candle, some mixed reaction. Okay, so now this candle is closing in 1 minute. So remember, it was initially bearish when it opened. It was black candle, was barcoding blue, black, blue. Then it came down black. Then it came right back up within the first minute to the opening balance. It flipped blue. It was blue all the way up there. And then it just got rejected, came down to the opening balance now. And then it's refueling itself, getting right back up there. Okay. Measure the range of the candle so you know if you're going to trade next little bit from the bottom to the top of this candle, it's about now 65 pips. Okay, so you got to know when you're trading with a stop loss of, you know, if you're trading with a 20, 30, 50 pip stop loss, you could get stopped out either way, right? The range, you got to be trading with at least 100 pip stop loss minimum, you know. And that's, someone's going to say, holy shit, that's crazy. No, it's not. It's not that crazy. You know, look at the size of these candles. Okay, look at the ones that caused the news. These were massive candles. Those were 200 pip candle, right? And to all the new viewers, guys, thank you for subscribing. We're almost at 97,000. Another 16 subs. If you're not subbed, sub it. Let's hit 97K. Jay, have I been to Lake Erie? I'm actually going. There's a pike. I'm going to Long Point for a Northern Pike tournament this weekend. Weather pending. Weather pending. Okay, now we got something. It's barcoding, right? Another trap location, right? If you want to kind of trap this volume in here, it's another flag. We can trap, sorry, let me make it just neutral. But you can see blue, black, blue, still inside there, black, right? It's just flagging in here. It can continue to go back up through there, but you know, building. If we do get like some selling later tonight, what you can see is maybe this could be like the left shoulder. This is the head up here. And then if it comes back down into here, the right shoulder, right? You know, then you can see how it moved in here, came back up here, might come back down in here, and then drop down to that block, and then that engage those buyers to take it back up. Okay, that's maybe possible pathway. I could be watching for the continuation of this session, but I'm going to be going off the call. But when I get alerts at these locations, maybe we'll get a cool off period. Maybe we don't. Maybe it just continues to drop a little bit and go back up. But right now there is some sellers present. This hidden block is holding the 4,600. Now we got some bearish volume coming down. This might be a structural candle that closes below some structure. And maybe we can base a little bit of analysis off of this bar. Hey, Trevor, how are you? Welcome back, sir. Okay, and guys, this yellow line was yesterday's daily high resistance. It can be turning to support. You know, all of these yellow lines were daily resistance. Now they can be support lines. So if you go back to the daily, you know, if you see right here on the daily, this is today's strong day. It basically was, you know, the news at 5:48 that caused, or 6:48 that caused all of this. And you see we broke yesterday's high. So it could be short-term support, but this yellow line can be support. That yellow line can be support. That's where we're struggling right there in this block. I showed you on the 5 minutes how I figured out that hidden block. But if it continues to break tonight, your next point of interest will be this yellow line, previous day's opening balance, or sorry, not the previous days, the previous Monday, the opening week balance. I wrote that incorrectly there. This was the opening balance of the week, weekly opening balance, up to 4613. Amazing, Sherry. Wow, you have a leap call option open on Google at this time. You use the same intraday strategy as I use on bullish days on some magnificent 7 stocks. You're really enjoying trading options. Unbelievable. It's really, I know, I know that strategy very well, Sherry, and it's working very well for me. And I know it's working very well for you, because tech is it's just making some historic gains right now. And if you have leaps, they're probably in the money. So congratulations. And take advantage of the markets while you can, right? You know, until the markets start to correct themselves and start coming down. Take advantage of this opportunity. That's what I do. When the markets are bullish on tech, I take advantage on buying dips. I welcome the dips, and then if I go a little further, like down and draw down, I don't panic. I don't close them out. I add another 100 shares, right? And I dollar cost average because tech will bounce back. I'm not the only one buying. Maybe big institutions will be buying those dips and taking it back up. Does it always work? No. But in certain situations, when you got times like this where we're creating these all-time highs every single day, and there's just little corrective phases, like what I'm talking about, little counter trades, like little bit of selling, and then it pumps again. Take advantage of those pullbacks and buy. Yeah, options are a fantastic way of how to earn passive income. Sherry, I hope you can do some covered calls in the near future. If you get to the point by owning 100 shares of one of those Magnificent Seven companies, then you can add some protection with a covered call and earn that passive income. You're basically going to be an underwriter, just like banks. So I hope everyone gets to that point at some time in your trading career. You know how nice it is to just earn passive income without doing anything? You don't even need to stress out. You buy 100 shares of a company, have a covered call, and enjoy the passive income. You can do it on a weekly, on a monthly, on a 3-month basis, depending on what option you choose. Sherry, that's the way to do it. You have leaps and time is on your side. You only choose the best securities. I'm doing it right now on some stocks. That's perfect. Great. Continue. Much success. Okay, guys, so we're getting a little bit of a push down. It doesn't mean that gold is going to dump. Again, it could just come back down, make its way back up, continue to watch, look for structural bars, look for big black candles that can close below some sort of structure, cut them in half, find a point of control. Maybe it might be another big blue candle breaking out, structural closing above here, cut that one in half, figure out points of control if you're going to continue to trade throughout the night. That's it for me, guys. Thank you to everyone that joined the call. There was over 500 viewers on tonight's call. Thank you. We hit 97,000. Amazing. Thank you guys very, very much. That's much appreciated. We're 3,000 away from that historic psychological 100,000 subs. At some point in time, we will get there. Slowly but surely, we'll get there. Tomorrow, guys, I'm taking a day off. I'm going to go to Buffalo for the hockey game, Montreal and Buffalo. So, we were scheduled to have a session, but decided to go last minute to the game with a friend of mine. And we'll be back Thursday. And yeah, go Habs, go. Yes. Yep. Montreal is destined to win the Stanley Cup. I feel it. I have a nice parlay. I told you guys at the beginning, I put $500 down on Montreal to win the series against Tampa. They did. And it's parlayed into the next series, this one against Buffalo. And when they win that, it's parlayed into the Eastern Conference Final, probably against Carolina if they beat Philly. And then that is parlayed into the Stanley Cup Finals. So if we win that parlay, we're going to be doing real well. I'll buy everybody a drink here. Okay, but it's a long way to go, but we're going to get there. One game at a time, just like when we're trading one candle at a time, okay? So thanks, guys. Have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of your trading. Be careful. Volatility, breaking news can happen. We've got explosions happening. Strait of Hormuz talk. Trump is talking. Be careful. We have NFP Friday. Take it easy. It's the first week of the new month. And just please trade careful. Proper risk management as always. Have a great day. Thank you to all the subscribers, likes. Thank you to everyone on Zoom. I appreciate you guys. Guys, just on YouTube, I did not look at the chat today. I wanted to stay focused on the charts. I didn't want to join the circus because it's been pretty crazy the last few days and I lose focus. So I want to stay focused on the charts and the candles, the things that matter. And I'll let you guys conduct yourselves on the YouTube chat. If someone's spamming, you tell them stop spamming. You'll see how annoying it is on my side as well. Okay. So thanks, guys. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Have a great evening. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sherry. Amazing. I'm proud of you. Continued success. Val, thanks for joining. Tony, welcome, guys. Danny, you're too salty. You're too salty. Buffalo's going to lose. Don't worry. Montreal's got their number. Okay? I don't know what it is with you, but don't worry. Montreal's going to take care of Buffalo in 6 games, 4-2. Okay, guys. Have a good evening.
Recording stopped.